Oh, they got you coming and go. Trump is toast.
I like that one. That's
Trump is toast.
Yeah, man. And so you just kind of digest the news of the day.
It's an affirmation. Working, not working.
And it's turning us upside down, and all, as far as I'm concerned, it's as obvious as the nose on your face. This administration is completely.
No, I don't think you have. My favorite movie, and I love many of them, is Cable. I mean, a lot of it, really, truly.
Yeah.
That is a way
My secret is making the wrong choices.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today's topic is wild. Jim Carrey, yes, that Jim Carrey just called Donald Trump a rabid dog. You heard me right. Our favorite rubber-faced funny man, the guy who made us laugh until we cried in Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber, has officially turned his comedic talents toward the political arena.
These really negative forces like the Steve Bannons of the world are convincing us that we're separate. You can make a bad decision about a candidate. It's not who you are. It doesn't mean you're different. It doesn't mean, the trouble with what's happening right now is these.
And let me tell you, he did not howl back. No goofy impressions, no wacky sound effects, just straight up political fire. But wait, there's more. Carrey didn't just stop at comparing Trump to a rabid animal. Oh no, he's got a whole buffet of zingers that'll make you spit out your coffee. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one, because Jim Carrey is not just making funny faces anymore. He's sinking his teeth into some serious political commentary, and he's not letting go. But before we get into the details, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. So here's the deal. Jim Carrey didn't just wake up one day and decide to start throwing insults at the president for fun. He's genuinely worried about what's happening in the country right now. And in true Carrey fashion, he's making sure his point gets across in the most over-the-top, attention-grabbing way possible. According to him, the problem isn't just Trump himself. It's the people surrounding him, the people enabling him, the ones pushing this divisive, fear-based narrative that's convincing Americans we're all separate, that our political choices define who we are as people. And Carrey's calling bull. He's saying, look, you can make a bad decision about a candidate. That doesn't mean you're stupid. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you're some kind of lost cause. But what's happening now, the way these political forces are manipulating us, turning people against each other, that's the real danger. And then, boom, he drops the rabid dog comparison. Now, let's be real here, folks. That is not exactly a compliment. When you call someone a rabid dog, you're basically saying they're out of control, foaming at the mouth, lashing out at everything in sight. And Carrey seems to think that's exactly what Trump's been doing, treating America like his own personal chew toy, gnawing away at democracy, and leaving the country in a state of total disarray. And honestly, whether you love Trump or hate him, you can't deny that things have been feeling pretty chaotic lately. It's like someone let a hyperactive puppy loose in a shoe store. Just complete madness. But here's the thing. Carrey's not just hurling random insult. He's not just getting up on his Hollywood soapbox to rant for the sake of ranting. No, this is personal for him. He's genuinely terrified about what's happening. He's looking at the way Trump operates, the way lies have become so normalized, and he's saying, this isn't just about politics anymore. This is about truth itself. And that's when he really lets loose. According to Carrey, we're living in a time where kids are growing up believing that lying is totally fine. That's right. He thinks Trump has turned dishonesty into an Olympic sport. Can you imagine that? Picture of Trump standing on a podium, receiving a gold medal for world-class fibbing, proudly holding up his trophy while the national anthem plays in the background. It's almost funny, almost, until you realize Carrey is dead serious. He says there's an entire generation growing up right now being taught, either directly or indirectly, that lying is not just acceptable, but actually rewarded. That as long as you lie loudly enough, confidently enough, relentlessly enough, you can get away with anything. And if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. But here's where things take a turn, because Jim Carrey isn't just talking about Trump anymore. He's painting about him. Yeah, you heard that right. The guy who made a career out of talking out of his butt in Ace Ventura has officially turned into a full-blown political artist. And his artwork, brutal. We're talking about full-on, no-holds-barred, scorched earth depictions of Trump that make Saturday Night Live look polite. One of his paintings shows Trump as a wicked witch. Another one, Trump as a piece of toast. And I know what you're thinking, toast? Really? But apparently, Carrey thinks Trump is looking a little crusty these days. And my personal favorite, Trump hanging out with flying monkeys straight out of The Wizard of Oz. It's like a twisted version of The Apprentice, but instead of firing contestants, Trump's just cackling on his broomstick while his army of lackeys runs amok. Now, obviously, not everyone is a fan of Carrey's newfound political activism. Some people think his art is brilliant satire, exactly the kind of sharp, unapologetic critique we need right now. They're praising him for using his platform to speak truth to power, or in this case, paint truth to power. But others, not so much. Some folks think it's just mean-spirited, like something a high school bully would doodle in the back of their notebook. But here's the kicker. Carrey's political artwork is getting more attention than some of his movies lately. And that's got to sting a little. When was the last time you saw Jim Carrey headlining a blockbuster? Sonic the Hedgehog. Exactly. But his paintings everywhere, it's like overnight he went from Hollywood comedy legend to the Picasso political satire, or maybe he's just a Hollywood has-been with too much free time and an axe to... Either way, people are talking. And Carrey, he's not just letting his paintings do the talking. He's out there making the rounds, doubling down on everything he's saying. He went on Real Time with Bill Maher and straight up called today's political climate a carpet bombing of outrage. And listen, I don't know about you, but when I hear the words carpet bombing, I think of something a little more explosive than a bunch of paintings. But Carrey's making it crystal clear. He's not here to make us laugh anymore. He's here to sound the alarm. He's on a mission, folks, and he's not pulling any punches. So is Jim onto something here, or is this just another case of a Hollywood star talking out of his, well, you know, either way, I love him or hate him. You can't deny he's got people talking, and maybe that's exactly what we need right now. A little laughter, a whole lot of truth, and a massive dose of what the hell is even happening to this country. But here's the thing. Jim Carrey isn't stopping at diagnosing Trump. Nope. He's on a mission. He's traded in his Ace Ventura pet detective badge for a brand new role, political peacemaker. That's right. The same guy who once delivered a monologue out of his own rear end is now trying to crack the case of America's Great Divide. And honestly, if anyone can make sense of this mess, it's probably the guy who made Alrighty then a personality trait. Carrey's whole thing right now is unity. He's looking around, seeing that Americans are more divided than a pizza at a Weight Watchers meeting, and he's calling it out. And it's not just his opinion. The numbers back him up. Recent study showed that whopping 77 of Democrats and 83 of Republicans think the other side is about as welcome as a skunk at a garden party. That means nearly everyone in this country is side-eyeing each other like rival gangs in a 1950s musical. But Carrey's not buying into the whole red state versus blue state thing. He's saying we're just states, people. Just a bunch of humans wearing different colored jerseys, running around acting like we're on opposite teams. Mind blown. Next thing you know, he'll be telling us that both donkeys and elephants poop in the woods, which, let's be honest, is probably true. Now, I know some of you are already rolling your eyes, stick to making funny faces, Jim. But hear me out. Maybe, just maybe, a guy who spent his life making people laugh actually knows a thing or two about bringing people together. Because let's be honest, when was the last time you saw a Republican and a Democrat arguing while watching Dumb and Dumber? Exactly. You didn't. Because laughter, it's universal. Carrey's got this idea that we can all sit down, break bread together, and find some common ground. Of course, in today's America, that bread better be gluten-free, non-GMO, locally sourced, and blessed by a vegan shaman, or we're looking at another civil war, this time over dinner rolls. But still, the idea is there. And it's not just wishful thinking. Carrey actually has a point. He's saying that laughter can bridge divides, that maybe instead of screaming at each other online and blocking our own family members, we should try laughing at how ridiculous this whole situation has become. And honestly, he might be onto something. I mean, wouldn't you rather chuckle at the absurdity of it all instead of rage scrolling through Twitter at 2A? Now, I know what you're thinking. Can a guy who played a pet detective really understand complex political issues? Well, let me ask you this. Can a reality TV star with a questionable hairline become president? Oh, wait. But hold on, because this is where things go full conspiracy theory. Buckle up, people, because Jim Carrey just took us on a wild ride. Remember The Truman Show? That movie where Carrey played a guy who didn't realize his entire life was a staged TV show?
Yeah.
Well, Jim's basically saying we're all living in our own Truman Show right now, except in this version, Trump is the star and he doesn't even realize the cameras are rolling. Yeah, let that sink in. According to Carrey, we're all being babysat by television. And if Fox News is our babysitter, somebody please call Child Protective Services, because that's some seriously questionable parenting. But jokes aside, the man has a point. We are obsessed with the Trump show. We're glued to our screens 24/7, watching every tweet, every meltdown, every scandal like it's the season finale of the most chaotic reality show ever produced. And Jim's worried. He's worried that lying has become so normal that an entire generation is growing up thinking is totally fine. That bending the truth, twisting reality, and just making stuff up is no big deal. Great. This is what we need. Bunch of mini Trumps running around telling us the sky is green and pigs can fly. But here's where it gets really wild. Carrey doesn't just want us to turn off the show. He wants us to change the channel completely. He's calling for a mass awakening, like we're all Truman Burbank realizing the sky is just kind of backdrop. But here's the question. Where's our exit door? Is it hidden behind some fake White House set piece? Is Melania secretly the director? Because honestly, that would explain a lot. The big picture here, we're so wrapped up in the daily drama, the outrage cycle, the constant arguing that we've lost sight of the bigger issue. We're fighting over what flavor of popcorn to eat, and while the entire theater's on fire. And now Jim Carrey isn't just making faces. He's making waves. He's telling people to wake up, pay attention, and actually do something about this mess. And say what you want about celebrities, but when a guy like Carrey speaks up, people listen. Hollywood stars have influenced the word-shaped conversations, and sometimes they can shift public opinion faster than Trump can tweet fake news. So here's the big question, folks. What do you think? Is Jim Carrey a comedic crusader for unity, or should he stick to talking out of his butt? Literally. Because honestly, I can't decide. Sound off in the comments. Let me know if Carrey's on to something, or if this is just another case of a celebrity thinking they're way smarter than they are. Either way, one thing's for sure, this conversation is far from over.